Welcome into WKYT News at 5. I'm Kelsey Soto in for Bill Bryant tonight.
And I'm Amber Philpott. It has been nearly a week since thousands of AT&T workers went on strike. They are protesting what they call unfair labor practices.
That strike is impacting the company as well as customers right here in Kentucky. WKYT's Alyssa Williams went out to Madison County to talk with one woman who is feeling those effects. It's our top story at 5.
It went out Thursday night, and we tried to reboot it Friday morning before my husband went to his veterans breakfast, and it has not worked since.
This is Megan Goldstein. She says AT&T told her they would send a technician to fix her internet last Friday, but they never came. She says she's called every day since asking for help.
Well, my husband and I are very heavy internet users. He's a disabled Iraq war veteran who does use the internet quite a bit for just entertainment purposes and to control his stress. And I'm currently involved in a job search right now. And of course, I can't edit my resume. I can't apply for jobs. I can't apply to a doctoral program that I'm looking at.
Goldstein says in the days following her initial call for help, customer service reps told her the issues were because of the strike.
I was like, I wish someone had just told me this from the beginning.
The Communications Workers of America is a labor union representing the thousands of technicians, customer service representatives, and other employees. Earlier this week, CWA sent a statement claiming AT&T had been sending undertrained managers and contractors to do the work of those on strike. In a statement to WKYT today, AT&T says they remain committed to reaching a fair agreement with CWA District 3 and claim they have measures in place to continue providing service to their customers.
You need to right now do what is right for both your employees and the customers.